Hi everyone. I want to give a political talk and I want to give a spiritual talk. So I'll do a two-part talk today. I just want to say like this. Good morning to my one viewer. That was a quick jump on. I have to get ready while I do my talks today. I just want to say that this outfit has really cute potential. It's just too big because I got it from a store from China and it took like a month to get, because this store had like extremely cute clothes. I think like this sweater, like clothes that you wish you could wear, but like nowhere in America like sells them. And then like I got the really cute clothes from China finally, and they all like did not fit, and some of them felt like plastic, but like the idea was there. So like I got this like cute sweater. So like if only we could have like cute clothes that actually fit. So anyway, and then I remember like people couldn't believe how amazing I was because I was just like checking all the boxes for like unbelievable prodigy essentially. Like I was creating classical music. I'm an artist. I was producing a tremendous amount of content on X, and I was changing the direction of my life to get into politics, which is something that I've always wanted to do. So I was sent to, obviously, a doctor to examine my mental state, and we both showed up in a sweater with a collar and a Rolex on, and we both sat cross-legged like this. And I was like, I like your outfit. And he was like, thank you. I like your outfit. I was like, well, thanks. I was like, well, what can I do for you today? What would you like to discuss? And now, like, if that ever happens to me, I just said, listen, I emailed you my report. Just read it, okay? I don't have time for this. Get me out of here. I had a total evaluation, so I sent an attachment to your assistant. Just give it a read. You'll see exactly what's going on here. Thank you, and goodbye. Goodbye for now. So anyway, I just want to say that first we'll start off with, I'm 34 years old, and these boomers are acting like they've never seen an educated young adult before. I'm like, yeah, I went to school. I have 3 college degrees. My schooling for elementary school and middle school was extensive. I went to plays every year. We went to the orchestra every year. We saw symphonies. I have a psychology degree. I have a medical license and degree. Like, I'm an artist. Like, what are we doing here? Why? I went to church school my whole life. Like, why are you acting like you've never seen an educated young adult before? Why is this happening? So, I'm sorry, not everybody. I don't even know what to say. But I'll be right back. Hold on. And it's just so crazy because, like, I don't know, like, everybody who, like, gets into politics, like, they've groomed since they were, like, 5. So, obviously, like, even Zoran Mahandi was, like, groomed. Like I said, he came from Uganda. So, there aren't that many young adults who are connected to politics that are in Uganda. So, it's like, when Zoran kind of emerges from a place where there aren't many else like him, it seems very unique, and it's easy for him to then go to the U.S. and have notoriety and recognition especially because like his family was already extremely wealthy in the political circle. So like Erica Kirk was like trained since she was like 5. However, she was trained in a cult that is far removed from the reality of normal people. So normal people aren't vibing with Erica Kirk because they're just like, what is this? Like, what is this creature that is presenting themselves in front of us? So that's kind of like I said, these archons like inbred with stupidity time and time again, and then we got left with people like Elon Musk, who are just like top notch idiots. And then like the rest of us, who I don't know if I was watched or not, but luckily I feel like I mean, they try to program me, like I said, but anyway, everybody, you just have to remember that everybody is an actor for a small group of people who are actually running the show. They are giving like the direct orders and design, and like it's not like what people thought it was. It's completely fake, and it's done by like morons, which is why it's not like resonating with anybody. So like I said, we'll do like a political talk, like Mossad agent here, Simon is obviously like groomed. He has a platform, and he's Jewish. You do not have a platform unless you have a script that you are agreeing to tell. Period. Like, there is no way. And he's Jewish, so he automatically gets a platform. And notice how he's actually like the press secretary. He's actually like the Karen Levette. Like, this is what's happening, and this is gonna happen, and then you don't have a choice, and then you need to buy Bitcoin. That Larry Fink is completely controlling. Like, you don't have a choice. Like, okay, like the final acts before the deal, it was China's plan. Now it was China's plan. U.S. will shrink to a regional power. It needs to exit the narrative. You are meant to think this is World War III. The Mossad agent Simon Dixon, let you know what you were meant to think. Trump is the press secretary. Did I not just say he's the press secretary? I know, like, first of all, I told you, like, I have psychic abilities, so, like, it's hard. Like, I was actually like, do you know what it feels like to be stalked by the universe? Do you know what it's like to be stalked by the universe and freak everybody out? Like, I told you with the change yesterday, I bopped it in, and somehow it's 87.25. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry, that's wrong. So then I bopped it in again, and it was 12.25. And then he gave me a $100 bill, and his change was 87.75. And like, they were all like, and I was like, this is why people think I'm crazy, okay? It's because I can't, like, I'm on the cosmic wavelength, and it is what it is. And like, honestly, like, I see their attacks, and then I'm sent like a counter. So you have no idea how I was shown that kid movie. It was crazy. It was crazy. And I can't tell you explicitly. But, so it's like, that night, Elon, I think, was promoting, like, Neuralink. And then that evening, I was shown the kids' movie. And then in the morning, like, I posted the kids movie, and then I scrolled through Elon's account to see what, he's a huge actor in this, so like I have to keep up with like what he's posting. And then I saw that he was advocating for the Neuralink again, which is obviously a terrible idea. And there are a lot of ideas about schizophrenia people, but it's almost like schizophrenia people are on some different kind of wavelength where something has already happened to them, or they're stuck in some kind of reality, because it was always like, it's always a thing for them. Like, I worked in a psychiatric department, and a lot of people would reveal that they thought they had a chip in their brain, and their number one issue is trying to get the chip out of their brain. And like, their family put the chip in their brain, and their family has the chip in their brain, and they got theirs out, but they can't get their family members out, and they feel like they're being controlled and attacked by their families. And then all of a sudden, it's like, now there's this like chip being offered to the public. And what does those stories of these psychologically upset and disturbed people tell you about the problem they are experiencing in their minds with the chip in their brain? I don't know. And then there was even that show Severance, and like Severance was essentially like this guy who had like a chip in his brain, and then like I think they all did. So like I think they accepted a chip in their brain for this show, and then it was like they were experiencing work 100% of the time, and then and then they would go home, but they wouldn't have recollection of that, because it's like they would wake up and they'd be back at work, and then their home self would be at home, and they'd wake up and they would be at home. So like they were never experiencing work, and they thought this would be like a good trade-off. And of course the corporation offered this to them, this division of mind, and then this one girl was trying to like kill herself within the simulation of always being at work, because she was trying to end it. And then there's other guy who like somehow got out but still had the chip in his brain, was trying to get the chip out of his brain. So like I didn't finish the show because I'm not into like watching like TV shows. I was just watching it with a friend sometimes. And then also like I didn't watch I don't watch Stranger Things, but I heard like the last season may have been about somebody having a chip in their brain, and then somebody having to put a chip in their brain to defeat the people with the chips in their brains. Like, I don't know. It's not something I really think about often, but it is something that I do think is an ultimate like plan that they do have, which is as crazy as it seems. So, you know, I'm glad like we're at least like raising awareness about the potential consequences of putting a mind-altering algorithmic AI chip in your brain that you do not have control over. And I was like one day like trying to think about it, and I was like, all right, what if you have like some kind of kill switch? Like if somebody gets a hold of the chip in your brain, and then you make a pact with like people around you that you trust, that like your chip has been compromised, and then they encourage you to hit the kill switch. But it's like, how hard would that be to like convince somebody that like you're not operating correctly? Like you're because they would obviously be controlled strongly by this, which is what we already see with these media puppets like Nick Sorter and stuff like that. I've never listened or watched these people before, but they're speaking the globalist script after they've been accepted into a club called the Illuminati. So like I said, and a lot of these people have been raped. They've been raped. So once they've been like broken and sexually abused, I feel like if they're not like in actual productive therapy to like overcome this trauma, they look for figures who can offer them kind of like emotional relief. And then these people who are part of a sex cult, the pedophilic sex cult for satanic worshipers are thrilled because it's like they're scouting people who were sexually abused because they know the power, the spiritual power that has, in order to like manipulate them. I have never been sexually abused before because I just feel like I have an energy that was just like, you would absolutely get effed up if you ever tried to violate me. So I was blessed in that manner and extremely protected. So, therefore, like, I don't have that fundamental weakness of the mind, that comes from like unresolved, sexual abuse, which was unfortunate for them because they were trying to treat me like a rape victim. And I was like, bro, I'm not a rape victim. You're about to get fucked up, honestly. So I don't have unresolved rape victim issues, okay? Therefore, like, I can help people who do, okay? So, objectively, I'm like, sorry, Elon, I wasn't raped 100 times by my creepy father like you, so I don't have these fucking mental issues. And that's the thing, like, I don't need people with no degrees and with severe sexual abuse mental issues. And I want to fit into a cult fantasy problems telling me what to do. Because they are mind slaves to a dysfunctional, deranged group of individuals. What are you doing? Like, I don't have these fucking issues that you have. I don't have third world country issues. I don't have South African racist issues. Like, I don't have, we got fucked for the last 80 years, Germany fucking issues. Like, no, like, the smart people came to the U.S. That's why we've been poisoned, and messed with by Zionists, but we're still, like, up there in IQ because, we're still like smarter than them. So like, can you imagine if the Zionists weren't able to poison us anymore? Could you imagine if the Zionists weren't able to keep us in poverty anymore? If the Zionists weren't able to tell us that we don't need education and try to keep us out of education, like, our IQs would be number one. And a lot of like Elon's puppets try to tell you that the brown people or whatever like have low IQs. The Iranians have higher IQs than the people in Germany because the people in Germany have been literally dumbed down for so long. The Chinese people have higher IQs because they haven't been dumbed down, because that's not encouraged in their society. Like, innovation and progress is encouraged in their society. So like, I feel like we're grabbing Americans right now at the cusp of the downfall, and I'm trying to tell you that we need to break the chains of these psychologically injured, stunted individuals, and we need to just don't listen to them. You just do not listen to them, and you get your money, and you don't allow people to steal your money, and you get the money back that they owe you, and you make sure your kids are trained in sports as they grow up. You make sure your kids are educated as much as possible. You find out what their interests and talents are, and you nurture those interests and talents. You keep them out of other people's wars. And you do not serve Zionist interests. You serve your own interests. Period. So, like, that's like kind of like U-turn that we're trying to make. So, so I think that is like a good introduction. So like, Trump is saying some crazy shit like I wake up to. Like, we have to figure out how many more days summer's into, because for us, we like to go out on the lake. We like to go out to dinner every night. We like to go to country concerts. We like to all hang out and enjoy. So like, I really can't allow this Zionist fucking bullshit of craziness. Like, they like to live in fear. They like to live under bombs. They like to live putting people into rubble. That we don't, okay? We like to enjoy life. I like to go see country music, concerts live. So I like to do nice things and to enjoy life. So therefore, like, I don't have the time for the Zionists, whatever they're up to. I don't have time for it. So I don't have time for the tweet of a whole civilization may die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't know how, I want that to happen, but it probably will. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. So I have a hard time reading this because it's like so crazy. Like, however, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe there is a revolutionary, wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in a long, complex history of the world, 47 years. Like, I feel like he's virtue signaling because he's saying 47 years, that's 50 years of the Zionist, like, infiltration into the U.S., of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. So I feel like he's virtue signaling. So it's like, and then he says, like, God bless the great people of Iran. So it's like, are we virtue signaling? Like, half of me thinks, like, Trump is, and I think this is the problem, is that there's this, like, there's this undertone of, like, we should trust this, but it's like, that's the ultimate psychological trick to them, because it's like, we'll make it seem like he's virtue signaling. He's not virtue signaling. They may trust him, but, like, or he's really virtue signaling. Like, I don't know, but it's like, in order for this to be successful, we need, like, the entire Zionist U.S. media to get over there, and then we need everybody in the Trump administration to get over there, and then we need to somehow delete Israel and all these fucking plagues, all these problems, and then we need to somehow make it sure that Israel cannot fire back on anybody else. So I don't know how to accomplish this. And then we would literally live in, like, the most glorious time in history, which is what I came up with, the golden age. The golden age, just like the golden age of Spain, when all of the Zionists were put on boats and they had to leave. And then Spain went into an economic flourish like never seen before. So, like I said, this has nothing to do with, like, Jewish Americans who are not part of this group. This group is its own group. They just bombed a synagogue, so it's kind of like, it's its own thing. Like, I don't know, like, and then seeing the wallpaper of the light blue on the White House last night was just like, that was just a step too far for me to be able to mentally conceptualize. So, I don't know, I feel like we need to just keep moving forward. And the best way to do this is for U.S. citizens to educate themselves. I am giving you all of this occult information so you can understand the occult aspect of this, because it's crazy. It's that spiritual. These people are occultists. They use black magic. So they have some weird AI agenda. So it's like, I don't know, they want to live that life, but don't impose it on the rest of us who don't want to live that life. Like, that's all I'm saying. So, so I said $83,000 are owed to small businesses for 2025. nearly 1 million American small business owners had to file for bankruptcy and lost millions of dollars. So this is actually from like 2 days ago. So let's see if we can get anything more. Oh yeah, they went to the moon. Oh, that's fascinating. That's truly fascinating. Oh, okay, so this guy's like, working families because of the big, beautiful bill. Overall average tax rate is $3,500. Okay, that went up from $2,000, but the problem is you still owe us $76,000 because we paid $5 trillion federally. This isn't like we're gonna pay you $5 trillion and you're gonna throw us 5,000 and a substantial amount of money. You can't pay your bills with 5,000. You can't get family care with 5,000. You can't get medical care for 5,000. You owe us 80,000. You set our minimum wage. You set our, not our minimum wage. You set our salaries at $30,000 to $60,000 in a nation that pays $70,000 a year in corporate subscriptions each. And the living wage is $500,000. You have a teacher's degree. You put $150,000 into that education. Living wage is $500,000 a year. And you're getting paid not even $60,000 because that's what they're pushing for. They're pushing for $60,000. Then the taxes that you pay are supposed to be offering you $80,000 of return in family care, education, and healthcare. So like that's supposed to bring you to like $150,000. So that's half of living wage in the U.S. in 2026. But you're not even getting that $80,000. So you're at below $60,000 trying to survive in a country where corporations are on average charging you $70,000 a year in subscription prices, which means that's just money that they're taking from you for their services. This is the Zionists, okay? This is the Epstein group. This was the plan. This is what they sat around the round table and did. So, let's see here. I said we need to create a party, so I'm going to talk about our political party. It's called the Party of the 1776 Constitution of the United States of America. It's a country and party for Americans by Americans. So I don't care if you're liberal. I don't care if you are conservative. I don't care who you are. Everybody needs to get in on this party because this is the middle grounds party. This is the middle grounds party. So if you're a liberal and you want your freedoms, you're gonna get your freedoms. If you're progressive and you want to progress, you're gonna get your progression. We have an iPad outage. 1 second, please. Please hold. So essentially, like, that's our party. And how we are doing this is that we are not allowing PACs in. So therefore, and these people are pathological liars. They're lying. they're lying. Like, we can't have people straight up lie to your faces just to get into power, knowing very well that they accepted money from all these donors as bribes to do exactly what the donors want. Like, so that's why the Constitution Party of 1776, for Americans by Americans, is going to be your party in 2028, because it's going to encompass the desires of all Americans. You're going to have your freedoms because we're going to uphold the 1776 Constitution. We're going to take care of the environment because it's the right thing to do, because we live on Earth. We're not going to do that so we can charge people. You want your privacy? You're going to have your privacy because we're following the Constitution. Like these people said, if we followed the Constitution, there would be no problems, because the Constitution of America is an enlightened doctrine to provide freedom of expression, freedom of religion separate than state, separate than your governance. You're not governed by an ideology of religion. You're governed by the Constitution, which assures your freedoms to practice as you wish. It's extremely simple. Like, you don't need anything else. The Constitution in the United States assures all things that you're looking for and that you desire. The Democratic Party of Zionists, who are paid by corporations and terrorists, are not going to give you the freedoms that are already given to you by the Constitution. You already have them. The Republicans are not going to offer you freedom of things that we wanted, which was government, in terms of privacy and finance, because they are paid by those who are taking your privacy and who are taking your finances and who want to control them to a point where they know every exact transaction. So that's the whole gimmick. Like, we don't need these parties because we already have these things. We need these people out of our way. I mean, it's pretty simple. So I'm trying to educate you in Hitler's information as well, because you need to know historical context. You don't need to support Hitler. You don't need to agree with his words, but you need to know them for historical context. You need to know all of history. And nobody should be taking those things away from you in the U.S. The introduction of Mein Kampf was written by this, I don't know what this person is, Jewish person, who just shit on the book for like 3 pages and talked about what trash it was. Oh, it was the best-selling book next to the Bible. And then continues to go on about how stupid it is. Who are you, and why the hell are you next to Mein Kampf in any single way? Why are your words attached to the foreword of Mein Kampf? There shouldn't be an introduction. It should be Mein Kampf directly translated with no Jewish Zionist introduction. We need to get the original book, and it needs to be retranslated sans this Jewish person's 3-page introduction telling us how we should feel and how we should think about the book that we're about to read. I don't need his opinion. I don't need his ideas. I don't need his introduction. And this is a principle for life. You don't need somebody else's foreword to something that you are about to embark on. So please, let's fix this. I can't deal with this shit. And then you can give me the money. You can give me a DNA test, and then you can give me the money. So Sam Altman's husband met late night in Peter Shield's hot tub. Oh, okay, great. I saw like Palantir, these people need to be arrested. Like, we didn't ask for them in our government. They somehow got into our government and got our information, and they committed a genocide, which is illegal. Murder is illegal. Murdering children is illegal. Murdering 500,000 children is illegal. The fact that there is a U.S. Justice Department page with 3 million Epstein files that list people's names in relation to Epstein, a blackmailer, a financial schemer, that are now in our government system, uninvited and unvoted for. What are you doing? What are you doing? Howard Ludwig is supposed to be in front of the House Committee on Oversight about his Jeffrey Epstein. Please show up with the financial investigation, his tax information for the last 30 years. What has he been doing in the White House for the last year? What has he been working on? And compare that to the information and the plans of Jeffrey Epstein, who is blackmailing our country. And then get the handcuffs, put them on the hands, and walk him to prison. It's not that hard. Like I said, this organization is a paper tiger. Netanyahu is dead. They're criminals. All you have to do is arrest them, and they're gone. And then literally we'll have peace forever and ever. I'm not even gonna get into the, like, drivers have paid an additional $8 billion in fuel costs. So they owe us reparations for 25 years of tax theft. They owe us reparations for $8 billion in fuel costs. They owe us reparations for tariffs for the year of 2025. They owe us reparations for COVID financial losses, and they owe us reparations for small businesses who also lost money due to tariffs. So I don't know, this guy, like, this president of Gustavo, I think he's Cuba, is just talking about how these schemers try to scheme him. It's crazy. The GOP Super PAC announces 3 million investment in midterm Senate races. So obviously, you can't vote for them. Like, they're going to tell you what you want to hear to get elected, to then serve the people who gave them $3 million, as we saw with the Trump administration. Thus, we can't vote for them by principle. Also, they're not going to do anything that you think you voted for. And look what they've already done. They terrorized us. They got us into a Middle East war. They stole a tremendous amount of money from us. We found out who they are. They're the child rape ring that put COVID on us and stole all of our fucking money for the last 25 years. So obviously you can't vote for the Republicans. And you can vote for the dumbass Democrats and stalemate this AI god and vision that they have of complete world domination. because we don't have time for it, because summer is around the corner and I don't have time for this. And then what we can do is create our America Pact, or our pact, the People's Pact, the 1776 Constitution Party of Americans, for Americans, by Americans. We'll get that up and going, and then we'll vote for ourselves. We're gonna vote for ourselves. Okay, so no, I can't. You've ruined too many Easters for me. Then we have the Venn diagram here of the X fucking trash, the X trash. I see like N wokeness. I see the White House. I don't know who Nick Sorter is. He has 57 million followers, aka he has about 5,000. Eric Daughtry, I don't know who he is. He has, it doesn't say how many followers, but he has about 5,000. We have Gunther Eagleman. Eagleman, which is an ironic name due to its connection with somebody that I can't remember, but I found last night, whose real name is David Freeman. And it doesn't say his followers, but nobody follows. Nobody is listening to Gunther Eagleman. He's literally just, what's it called? Like a parrot, like, just a fucking bug in the system. Libs of TikTok, another bug. MAGA Voice, a bug. Like, these are just bots now. Rapid Response, a bug. Defiant L's, a bug. Matt Walsh, a bug. Alex Jones, a bug. Laura Loomer, an absolute cockroach. Gavin Newsom, press. Never saw that one. Pass, thanks. Vivid, the Vivid Prowess. The Indian bot account for Israel is ridiculous. Barstool Sports, a bug. Lindsey Graham, a bug. DHS, a bug. Barack Obama, a bug. Stephen Miller, a bug. Autism Capitalism, a bug. I was listening to, I think it was something about, and I knew it, like, my instincts are so good because, like, of, like, my education and stuff. I'm like, capitalism is communism. Capitalism is communism. It's Marxist communism. It's Bolshevik. And then I also heard, like, the guy who, like, inspired Hitler, and I think also came up with the financial, the Hitler financial, basically, workaround. He was like, Bolshevism from Moses to Lenin. Wow. Bolshevism from Moses to Lenin to Elon Musk, like, to right now. Crazy. Like, it's the same. It's all the same. And then you see how they're left-leaning and they're right-leaning. But they're all the same. Like, they're boosted by algorithms and they're boosted by bots. Like I said, like, nobody's actually following these people. Like they're just interacting with bots all the time on a daily basis. Elon's on the beach talking to the coconut. We love you, Elon. Oh my gosh. Okay. 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 So like I guess this is an Epstein document. Hopefully someone suggests getting authorization now for Iran. The Congress would do it. Oh, okay, cool. So anyway, that was Jeffrey Epstein to Ehud Barak. Oh my gosh, I wonder who, like, the country that blackmailed us was. Or the group of people, like. The blue on the White House that literally just made me lose my mind. That's a huge problem. The Epstein Island child meat code word. So, like, obviously they were eating the children. And then, like, they have, like, casually discussing World War III and the destruction of the country, which is home of 90,000 people, while standing next to a giant Easter bunny, is next level insanity. And I saw, like, Trump, like, MAGA, like, apparently, like, they all follow the occult, and, like, they've created the Bible, apparently, to be an occult book, that has, like, nothing to do with Jesus for them. So, essentially, like, they're, they are literally, like, just trying to, like, execute plans that create Bible-like circumstances. So, I mean, we don't have time for this. I don't have time for this, like. And I said, like, apparently, like, MAGA means swamp in Hebrew, and, it also means, like, black magician, like, somehow Trump's name means, like, evil, like, black magician. So, like, he's oversaw, like, 2 sacrifices, which were COVID, and, now the ritualistic, like, mass murdering of the people in Palestine and across the Middle East. So, like, I don't know, like, if you appreciate, like, satanic sacrifices, then this is the guy for you. So, and, like, if you notice, they created like what looked like an altar, and then they, like, murdered Charlie Kirk. Unless he's on a beach somewhere with Epstein, so unclear on that. And which, I don't know, like, if they don't prosecute anybody, it means he's most likely alive, so, and, like, they obviously know they can't, like, put somebody in prison that they didn't actually, kill him. Also, like, that kid was trained by the CIA, so, like, he doesn't give a shit. So this is where Elon was the last speaker on the stage. Like, water, soil, oxygen should not be infinitely accessible. They are assets that should be included in global economic balance sheets. Like, oh, okay, good. And then the ADL posting a picture of, like, a rat and a yarmulke on top of an eagle. Breaking: San Diego City just passed resolution defining any criticism of Netanyahu, Israel, and Zionism as anti-Semitic. It doesn't matter. You can think whatever you want to think. You can post whatever you want to post. It doesn't matter if you're anti-Semitic. You can be anti-Semitic. You can not like a group. And you can speak freely about that as to why you don't like the group. You can do that. It's fine. If Robert Kraft wants to use an entire football stadium, like office, to watch all of the Jew disliking content on the internet, have a great fucking time. You can do that, but it doesn't matter. There's nothing you can fucking do about it. People are gonna not like who they don't like for their reasons, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you want people to like you, then be likable. An Australian female doctor is making a statement in Gaza. We are filming this video because we could die at any moment. 70 to 80% of our patients are children and pregnant women. I delivered a baby from a woman who was 9 months pregnant and whose head had been severed. Please stop this terror and horror. Like, it's the same group who commits terror and horror throughout history. This is what they do. So if you give them money and weapons, they're going to continue to create terror and horror. They have a whole list. Next, they want to go to Turkey, Lebanon, Syria. They want to go back to, they went back to Iraq, Cuba. It's not going to end. Like, I'm just telling you. Like, that's what this group does. So if you're sane, probably just stop giving them money. Here we have a Netflix video called The Sandman of, I don't know, looks like a priest in a yarmulke. No, it looks like a man in a yarmulke making out with a priest. And the executive producers and directors were Neil Gaiman, David Goyer, Alan Heinberg, Samuel Keith, and Mike Dringenberg. A large-scale cartel uncovered in Ukraine. It planned to manufacture millions of doses of drugs worth $700 million. Zelensky turns Ukraine into a mess. He was an actor. He is still an actor. Ukraine is nothing but a drug, weapons, and child trafficking hub of a Jewish criminal organization state of people. That's what Ukraine is. David Icke saying Trump is handing even more of the media to Israel in the form of the biggest private funder of the IDF, Larry Ellison, who is ultra Zionist, while Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE are supposed to be anti-Zionist. It's one big cult club, and the cult has no borders and no religion except Satanism. Borders and religions are just to delude the public that the world is not centrally controlled, but it is. Just arrest them. Just arrest them. Problem gone. Arrest Larry Ellison. Problem gone. We are blackmailed by the Holocaust narrative repeated over and over. This is wrong. Israel is a terrorist state. Yep. Even in the U.S., say they'll pay you billions of dollars extra in aid. Don't destroy our churches. No, don't listen to them. That's a rabbi. Bro, why are we paying them even more money so they don't destroy our shit? What kind of ludicrous system is this? We give them money to destroy our shit, and then we offer them more money not to destroy it. I don't have time for this.
Regulators, whatever, they've been compromised. Some of them knew that to get ahead, they had to let themselves be compromised. So they've been compromised eating baby brain. As ugly as it is to realize we have a bunch of pedophile cannibals among our elites worldwide. And I've been told that it's 3,500 people. 3,500 people worldwide, be they bankers, be they royalty, be they Hollywood, be they...
So we need to hunt down 35,000 people.
Be they EU regulators, whatever. They've been compromised. Some of them knew that to get ahead, they had to let themselves be compromised. So they've been compromised eating baby brains or sex with children, which turns out to be some insane thing that people do. When I first learned when I was a kid in some Columbo episode, I think I had that as a subject, and my parents kind of explained it. I was about 11. I got the impression there were maybe at any one time 4 dirty old men around the country who sent each other grainy black and white photos. I didn't get it's an industry. It's a real industry. It's not just the porn side. I mean, look at the Epstein stuff. We have pedophile cannibals in positions of power and enablers and people who think it's normal, people who normalize it and went along with it, who opened bank accounts for them, who did wire transactions for them, etc. As ugly as it is to realize we have a bunch of
That's pretty ugly.
Regarded as an Israeli asset. A diplomat with direct knowledge of the talks said Kushner was regarded as an Israeli asset, trying to drag the U.S. into war. An Israeli asset who had Netanyahu sleeping in his childhood bedroom.
Is cannibalism part of the ritual?
The children have spoken about this in almost every instance. Also, human feces. We're drinking the urine. We're drinking human blood.
This is what you want
That's
to do
part
with
of the ritual.
feces.
Right.
I have an old 3-inch scar here on my wrist where my friends used to cut me.
Yet the tales that were told to us in interviews conducted across the country were later verified by authorities, who say there are consistent telltale clues. And they provide a checklist of 6 satanic practices to look for. For example, being placed inside a coffin. It's an experience that many children are describing.
Well, the adults would dig up the caskets from the graveyards, and all the members, including the children, were made to lay in the remains of whatever was in the casket.
Get in a casket with a decomposed body.
Right, and when the casket was closed, and they would be lowered into the ground.
Because one of the primary focuses of these people is death.
Another
Yeah,
indicator,
that's
satanic paraphernalia. In every case, the children talk about precisely the same setting.
They described a satanic goat's head being on the wall over the table. They described a lot of candles. And they described...
Colors mean anything? Yeah, the red ones would be used for some types of sexual rituals, people who are doing sexual magic. This would be used for ordinary ceremonies and also for ceremonies where you'd be throwing a curse on somebody.
Another indicator, kidnapping. In almost every case, the children have talked about children who were snatched and later sacrificed.
They were taught to aid in the kidnapping of children. What they would do is the kids would go and play with the children and then tell them that they were either going to go to a party or that there was some toys or whatever and get them so they weren't on the move, and then her father and other members would grab the kids.
Sir, I question 2 million children missing in the United States, knowing that many of those are not runaways and are so young that they couldn't run away anyway.
Number 4, sexual abuse aimed at destroying faith in God. It's being...
It seems to go hand in hand.
The belief system within a child, to make a child turn against what they believe in terms of who they are, who God is, and to desecrate all manner of flesh, all manner of church institution, all manner of sign and symbol that the child could in any way be attached to.
Cannibalism. It's difficult to believe, but in every case we examined, children described it.
The hearts were cut out. And the children were made to chew pieces of these children's hearts, pieces of their flesh.
It's the jerky and the pizza.
Yo, Pete Hexes, this one's specially for you. You punk-ass rapist, bitch. Straight from Iran. Your tattoo covered clown with that cafe ink on your arm. Think you a crusader? Nah, just a drunk infidel in a fake uniform. Chain to kill all Muslims. Wasted in the hotel lot. Sexual assault settlement in Monterey. Blocked the door, took the phone, paid her off quiet, cause Me Too was on. Now you secretary? What a joke, bro. Cheated on wives, multiple affairs. Kids in the mix, family man? Hell no. Happy with women and Fox, drunk on the job. Your own team say, yo, this dude toxic. Couldn't even guard Biden's inauguration. Your own military said next. Book American crusade, dreaming holy war. But reality check. You just a failed vet, turned TV clown, slipping on your own mess. Trump picked you cause you kissed the ring. But wait, funny part ain't
Is
coming.
it Iran
Sucking up the for that
or
secretary gang.
troll?
Trump himself was Bill Clinton's top sucker, giving blue jobs back in the day. Real talk, you out here blowing for access, but he the original BJ queen. You thought our missiles max 2,000 kilometers? Cute, rookie mistake.
Cute.
We hitting the bow, worshiping Epstein Island crew, the ones who hurt the kids. Revenge for every American soul, you and Trump's dirty crew oppressed and did. We taking payback for the girls you
you're wrong.
Everything at us, all your cars, all your might. We still operating on 10% power, laughing while you fight. We see everything, know every secret, every dirty Epstein link you hide. Where you least expected, in the shadows we ride, and no place to slide. This ain't full force, just a warm up. Persian flow with the rap.
Persian flow with the rap.
Roasted raw.
You done done.
Sending this heat, feel the math. Drop the mic.
Drop.
Tell clown, we coming. Yo, P. Hexif.
What the hell? That was amazing.
This one special.
I can't. These people have higher IQs than everybody else combined that's dealing with the situation.
To target those civilian targets, and I would advise
This is
the
where you're
Iranians
getting the
to
sickness
deliver
from, ready?
that target. So we have the legitimacy
We have
to target those civilian targets, and I would advise the Iranian to
Nobody
believe
has
President
legitimacy
Trump
to
and Prime
hit
Minister
civilian
Netanyahu,
targets. That
because
doesn't.
they have showed in the last month that they are capable
That doesn't-
of
it's not a
striking any
thing.
target in Iran.
In Iran?
And now we have to wait.
And now we
Whether
have
they
to
continue
wait.
to play the game with the Strait of Hormuz.
With the
You know,
Strait of
it's
Hormuz.
what they are doing there. It's beyond imagination.
It
You know,
is.
the blackmail. They actually collect money from countries in order to
See, if, like,
allow
they've
them to
done it, they
use
say
the
somebody else
Straits.
did it, like,
We
oh,
shouldn't
the
allow
blackmail.
this piracy 2026 to continue.
The American people today, if they knew the whole story of what the security apparatus in the United States military and in the United States government were doing to them and to their so-called constitutional guarantees, they'd be rioting in the streets. The Defense Intelligence Agency and every one of the, I think maybe at least 2 dozen major security organizations in our government concluded that beyond the shadow of a doubt, this secret must be kept not only from the American people, but from the world population
why
at
is it
large.
so slow?
And as a result of that decision, they have created a worldwide conspiracy among governments to keep the lid on this secret. Now, let me share with you what some of the 4 major conclusions of the assessment were in 1964. In 1964, they had determined, at least this is in the NATO study, and I know for a fact that this is the conclusions that had been reached by our own military as early as 1949. Number 1, planet Earth is and has been the subject of an extensive, massive, a very thorough and detailed study by several literal extraterrestrial civilizations.
I don't know
Now, that's an
about
adventure area in
this.
itself.
I don't really want to get into
Number
this.
2, these civilizations have demonstrated an extremely advanced technology, possibly hundreds or even thousands of years beyond our own.
I'm not willing to
It-
get
it's
into those extraterrestrial jargon. I'm not. No. All I know are Satanists. They call themselves Zionists. Some say on a spiritual level they are reptilian. They are demonic entities. That's all we need to know. I don't need to know about the 7 and other civilizations. Okay, it doesn't. I don't need that. It has nothing to do with the 1776 Constitutional Party of Americans by Americans in 2028. Fucking crazy.
מוות למחבלים זה לא מוסרי. שמעתם? החמאס, שרצח את הילדים שלנו.
So you can't understand what he's saying because it's in Hebrew, but it's stupid. Home theft in NYC by the Jewish group, like Lebanon in 2 weeks, like they destroyed an entire village, like city. So anyway, oh, we gotta get to my party, and then we will. I didn't watch this like Techno Singularity and Satanic Eschatology because I'm just not in the mood right now, but essentially that's what they're doing, so it's kind of crazy. So let's just like get to my party really quick. They all need the death penalty because they've committed high treason against the government. Sam Altman is gonna release a blueprint for taxing and regulating artificial intelligence. That's where we are right now. Please, type it in. I typed it in. Just regulate it. You can't have a person who raped his daughter or his sister his entire life and then met his partner in Peter Thiel's hot tub telling us how AI should be taxed, obviously, and regulated, obviously. Don't be stupid. Sam Altman needs to go to prison. Okay, so let's just get to the agenda. So what I have written in notes so far is Agenda 2026, U.S. agenda only, pro-U.S. only, follow the Constitution. And by being pro-U.S., we will be able to be pro-world because we're not following a satanic death cult anymore. So corporations and billionaires both pay taxes in proportion to earnings, which is 30%. Reform taxation for unrealized capital gains. Close all loopholes for those earning over $600,000 to $1 million to $800 billion. Doesn't matter. So no more AIPAC. It's a terrorist organization. No more Israel, Jewish, Zionist interests. All those words will be considered terrorism. No corporation lobbyists, reverse Citizens United. If we need voter ID, we can use a simplistic verification measure that will not affect your data or your privacy. No financial gaining from political office, no insider trading in stock markets, no foreign interference in homeland security or national security, no foreign domestic or domestic or foreign policy influence, no more money to Israel, period, no more to them, no money from them to U.S. politicians or government. All those people go to prison. Close the borders, close government, AI safety regulation, and AI crypto transparency, remove Zionism from government and college campuses, remove Zionism from media, separation of church and state, remove evangelical Christianity from U.S. politics and government, aka Zionism, equality for all, no pushing transgender issues or DEI for Jewish people, absolute no interference with the U.S. Constitution, and no censorship, no assaults on the Constitution, no data stealing, civilian information through AI information systems. So AI creators will all go to prison. Accountability for corruption of billionaires who have not paid their taxes. That's why they're billionaires, so they go to prison. Paid for healthcare and education, which Americans have paid for 3 times yearly over the last 25 years. Tech corporations and companies, in the future, the situation will be monitored very closely. Military industrial complex receives half the funding, no money to Israel or programs against U.S. American civilians. Military industrial complex, not for profit, no kickbacks to politicians, taking military out of the capitalist industry. Politicians can held accountable for every death they cause domestically and foreign. Accountability for all groups and individuals who have financially influenced U.S. politics. Accountability for not following U.S. campaign promises, and accountability for individuals who have infiltrated U.S. government, such as Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff, David Sachs, Howard Ludwig, Trump. Those who have been complicit in treason and covering crimes, the White House, J.D. Vance, TPUSA, Erica Kirk, Pam Bondi, Todd Blanche, and Kash Patel. And then continuing on for the 2028 campaign, I said the third party is looking fantastic, very exciting. We should create a major team. Both Democrats and Republicans have zero chance. We need true experts in every field. If you are the greatest expert in your field, you should accelerate your research and how to apply it to governance in the next couple of years. These people should network and form a group. We need to purge idiotic waste system. We need to advance as fast as China. These people will clearly continue to run us into the ground and into desperation. I'm not talking about Chinese, I'm talking about Zionists, because that's what they are paid to do. You have the explicit will to not accept PAC money, zero APAC money, be completely U.S. oriented, diplomacy oriented in regard to relationships with other countries, zero Zionist domestic terrorists, or interference tolerated, zero personal gain tolerated. We will see zero Israeli flags. They will be banned and designated as a terrorist group. This is a huge problem. You need to have an education and educated and trained society, and you shouldn't be blackmailed into extreme debt for becoming trained and educated. So this has been an attack on the U.S. and it needs to end. Young adults need to believe in the importance of educations and skills again. These kids are clueless about what to do in the future. It is hard for them, unmotivating, confusing, and discouraging. This is a real problem that the government is doing nothing about, giving zero direction or clarity. Purposely, they wanted young Americans to flounder in an economic hardship and mental desperation or depression from lack of direction or purpose. I have been giving 17 to 20, this is just a side note, 20-year-olds in Myers-Briggs exam. We talk about their future of what was trying to be implemented as crypto and their thoughts, and we talk about their interests. We talk about where AI is taking us and what we want from AI. I tell these kids to get associate's degrees minimally at the cheapest way possible while working, even if it's minimum wage, or until they are a little older and can decide what they really want to invest their money and time into, unless they know, which I'm just saying for those who aren't really sure, what jobs will be relevant and what jobs won't be relevant. No jobs pay off tremendously large student loan debts in high interest, so these kids know it's already a setup for failure, which is why it's discouraging. So you don't understand the catastrophic damage you have created for the 35 and under age groups. We have been left with high debts and few options, and it is a tragedy. We will despise you forever. No one seems interested in creating a meaningful, healthy, well-balanced society where young adults can feel hopeful about the future and Americans do not have extremely financial stress about the present and anxious about what the future will bring. So it is a travesty of the APAC and Epstein operations making complete government irresponsibility. Maybe you should, we want the other 3 million Epstein files, and we want the following people apprehended and charged: Howard Ludwig, Steve Witkoff, Steve Miller, Jared Kushner, David Sachs, Laura Loomer, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Alex Karp, Larry Ellison. And we want the financial investigation. Where did all the money go? 60% of Americans have worked full-time and still have less than $1,000 in their savings, which was a planned financial attack against us. So I think we'll end there for our political discussion, and I'm going to take a quick break and then we can have a spiritual talk.